The Bharatiya Janata Party has completed 9 years in power, and the party is going to be holding multiple rallies across India, helmed by Prime Minister Modi, to be establishing the achievements of the party in the last 9 years. Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri joins us for a little more on the party's successful completion. 9 years in power. Mr. Puri, what's really the biggest takeaway for the BJP?
I'm very happy to join you in this assessment exercise of 9 years. But my submission to you is this is one of a kind. Let me just try to situate this and provide a perspective. You know, we are a 7,000-year-old civilization, India. And less than or around 1% is what we have as a personality as an independent country. So what we've done in these 9 years is to, in many ways, economically, we have overtaken the United Kingdom to become the 5th largest economy in the world. Now, when we become the 3rd largest economy in the world, overtaking the West Germans or the Japanese and the West German, it won't be that enjoyable. But overtaking the UK was the most enjoyable part of it because they ruled over us for 190 years. I'm saying this with a degree of seriousness. You know, our GDP in 1750, according to a Cambridge historian, was a contribution of 25% of the global GDP. After 190 years of British rule or colonial domination, it tumbled down from 25% global GDP to single digit, came down to 1 or 2%. Today, we are the 5th largest economy in the world. We are on the way. We've come from being 10th largest in 2014. We are on the way to becoming the 3rd largest economy. But you look at any sector of the economy, the Prime Minister's objective of India becoming a developed country by 2047 and for us to shed the colonial mindset, all that has been in evidence as work in progress during these 9 years. I can share statistics with you. Swachhata, we are running the world's largest sanitation program. 11 crore toilets built for urban and rural areas. 3 crore Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana sanctioned for urban and rural. We had 74 airports up to 2014. Between 2014 and 2023, today, we have another 74. Our metro system, which started in Mr. Vajpayee's time, is slowly moving in the direction of becoming the world's 2nd largest metro. We had 14 crore gas connections in 2014. We have 31.5 crore gas connections now. We have a refining capacity today of 250 million metric tons per annum. We are going to be which is at 4th position in the world. We are taking it to 2nd position to nearly 400 or 450 million metric tons per annum. Madam, I can give you any statistic. But the most important change, I think, has been the Honorable Prime Minister's definition of what constitutes good governance. So this is good governance reaching to the poorest of the poor, to those who are the farthest from the mainstream, and Samaj Seva. And you have transformed. Earlier they used to say there are 2 Indias. There's India and there is Bharat. Today you are getting that focus back onto all of India and a new India.
Even as the party, Mr. Puri, speaks extensively about the achievements, you see the Congress now launching a booklet speaking of "No Sawal ke No Saal," questioning BJP on multiple promises that you all have made, claiming it hasn't been fulfilled. To top it on the list is price rise.
No, I am so happy, madam, you're asking me about price rise. Because if somebody should not talk about this, it's the Congress's previous finance minister called Mr. I think P. Chidambaram. Today he's tweeted that the Prime Minister and the Petroleum Minister should read the situation. I just want to remind him, in Punjabi mein hamari kahavat hai, kare nana aur bhukte pota. You know, when he was finance minister, he floated oil bonds of 1,41,000 crores because he wanted to raise money in order to be able to meet the immediate needs. Today, we have to pay back 3,51,000 crores because of this one man's decision, of course, endorsed by the then Prime Minister. Let me go to the health sector. You know, during 2004 and 14, there was a limited manufacturing capacity for vaccines in the public sector. The then government thought it wise to dismantle it. So when the pandemic hit us, which is a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. It's like the Spanish flu which came in 2018. We had to start from scratch. And we manufactured 224 crore vaccine doses and distributed them free. So I'm willing to have a discussion with you, anything. Prices of energy, prudent fiscal management, and I can take you through all of that, but that will require a longer period. So when you tell me what are the questions that they have, I think the questions will not only be answered, but they will be shown the contempt that those questions deserve.
Right. You know, what a way, Mr. Puri, to complete 9 years. The BJP Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new parliament building, and it did come with a fair share of controversy around it as well. There was huge opposition boycott of the parliament building, but how would you look at it? A new Sansad, Naya Sansad, made by Indians, leaving behind the colonial past. We're looking at a swanky new building of the parliament, the temple of democracy as we call it.
Madam, there can be two views, but this cannot come from a political party, whether they are inaugurating a Vidhan Sabha and a state government. It's the Prime Minister of the day who does it. Parliament Library, Parliament Annexee, Shrimati Indira Gandhi, Shri Rahul Gandhi, Dr. Manmohan Singh and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi inaugurating something, I think in Tamil Nadu, something elsewhere, in wherever it's been done. So suddenly when, so somebody told me, but sir, this is not a library or an annex. This is a parliament. I said, if you had built a parliament, you would have done the same thing. So this is all, hogwash. And I'm using a term deliberately. This is pure hogwash, number one. Number two, this is not just a parliament. This is a parliament temple of democracy, which is built to the highest standard, built in about 20-25 months. Some of that period was during the pandemic. And it's been built by India. We have reclaimed our 7,000-year-old cultural heritage. You've got Indian material there. Look at I was there. It's a once-in-a-lifetime occasion. And I was filled with immense pride. Also because I've been associated with the project. Now, occasion like this, mature politicians set aside their differences and then they come and join in the celebration. I've received many ideas on why they chose to boycott it, because one of their members is suspended and couldn't have attended. I don't want to go into that pettiness. What I can tell you is they missed an opportunity and the country is celebrating the new temple of democracy and they missed out on the celebration.
All right. Finally, Prime Minister Modi and the reception he received abroad. We saw the kind of welcome he got in Sydney. In fact, the Prime Minister there himself called him the boss. Prime Minister Modi, the boss. So would we call this, or would you call this the Modi moment or the India moment?
It's but this is the beauty of your question. I mean, Prime Minister Modi's moment is also India's moment. The Prime Minister's efforts in the last 9 years have made India what it is. So the two draw strength from each other. And what a sight that was. When he got off at Port Moresby Airport, the Prime Minister of the host nation, Papua New Guinea, comes to receive him. It's not the gesture of touching the feet. But look what he said in the statement. He said, we are particularly delighted because you have come from amongst us. And you today, your voice is heard in the G7 and the G20. Therefore, because you've come from amongst us, which means the ranks of the developing country, and you've risen to that point, we all take delight. Look at that gesture. Then he goes to Australia, and the Prime Minister there, Albanese, says, I haven't seen this kind of a crowd in the Sydney Opera House. I don't know whether you've been there. I've been. It's a fabulous location. And so last time I saw something of this magnitude, it was when Bruce Springsteen is playing. And then he said, Prime Minister Modi, you're the boss. And then the President of the United States tells him, we're all looking forward to you visiting us in DC, but I'm having a bit of a problem. Everybody wants to come to the state dinner when you're coming. And he said, I should ask for your autograph. No, some of these statements are made on the spur of the moment, but they display a level of respect and affection. And I think this is what Prime Minister Modi has done, not only for India, raising our level, not only that we are the 5th largest economy, becoming the 3rd largest economy, but genuinely people look to India for what we've done during the pandemic, for what we've done in terms of digital inclusion, what we've done for financial inclusion, what we've done in terms of rejuvenation of the urban sector. I could go on, madam, but I am so short of time that I want to just thank you very much for having me on your show.